Well, I've had a interesting day today, and one of my next videos will be about narcissistic trick 474 a narcissistic family member may try to get in contact with you. But today's video is going to be about how I see women normally disrespect themselves. And this is no shade at women here. This is just an observation of what I see and what my suggestions would be in this regard. Now, I see this all the time on my Facebook timeline and other places, even just women I know in my life. I hear the same kinds of scenarios, and usually it's a dating scenario. You know, the things we care about the most are the things our defects come up in. That's true. And what I see is women who struggle with this concept. The fact that a man's actions will speak louder than his words. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "What you do speaks so loudly, I could not hear what you say." And I find what happens is women, maybe they want a commitment from a man, but the man doesn't give it to them. Or maybe he even does give it to them, but he's just kind of giving them lip service and still does whatever he wants. And then the woman makes all sorts of excuses for him and puts herself through the dirt. And often this happens it happens when they post a lot on social media together. The whole relationship is very public. And then, poof, disappeared. Poof, blocked. Poof, something else. And you see these kinds of situations a lot. But what's happening here is a woman isn't holding fast to her boundaries. Where if you're a woman and you want a commitment from a man, don't settle for any less than that commitment. Right? That's the bottom line. And don't pay attention to the words as much as you pay attention to their actions, because that will be the biggest indicator of what their priorities really are. And I know it's difficult. And the other hard part for women is a lot of the guys that do really well, that are attractive, charismatic, confident, give the tingles, maybe good in bed, if they make you feel that way, chances are they also make other women feel that way too. And those guys have options, right? And if you don't want to be treated as an option, strong boundaries are needed. And from a guy's perspective, there are certainly women out there where they just portray this confident energy. And it's not even about being feminine or masculine or anything like that. They just have a no BS tolerated energy where a guy just knows, okay, I wouldn't even try it with a girl like that. But there are other women that, guys do know who they can take advantage of and not take advantage of. And a woman who has weak boundaries and who will allow herself to kind of be strung along regardless of what she wants, she is disrespecting herself in that regard. All any of us can do is take a look at our side of the street and see how we can improve. And I know how it even happens to begin with, right? When we really care, man or woman, but when a woman cares about a man, those feelings can blind her to the realities of a situation. And that's why it's important to get a third party or objective perspective on some of these situations. Because when our feelings are involved, I kind of call it our feet are leaving the ground, and then rational thought becomes more and more difficult. But if you're a woman out there and you notice yourself falling and catching feelings for the same kinds of guys over and over again, it begs the question, what do you keep on overlooking in the beginning? Or how do you learn how to detect those kinds of red flags? And one of the best ways is don't pay as much attention to what they say, pay more attention to what they do. Because those red flags we ignore in the beginning will be the reason why the relationship ends later. Most everyone displays at least some red flags if they're going to have a lot of toxic behaviors. Now granted, some people's masks, they're pretty good. It takes a little while for those masks to fall off. But that's why it's important to not fall head over heels too quickly before we really know who someone is. And I've noticed in my own life, the people who are more likely to fall head over heels in love quickly are people that are not as satisfied with their own life, right? They don't have as much going on, whether it be career-wise, friend-wise, hobby-wise, whatever. There's just something missing, and it becomes too easy for a romantic entanglement to come in and fill that hole in more ways than one. But so a woman has to learn how to watch out for those red flags and know and actions will be the biggest indicator of what someone's priorities are. And I get annoyed when I see it, honestly. I see women disrespecting themselves, making all sorts of excuses for guys that are really kind of crappy. And I want to tell them, hey, wake up, look at their actions, stop making excuses for them. Right? They are showing you with their actions what they're all about. Believe them. And go for what you want. Don't let yourself be strung along by some guy that just wants to use you for sex. And remember, just because a guy sleeps with you doesn't mean he really likes or loves you or wants commitment from you or more. Guys will have sex with women just because they can. Don't ever forget that part. Now, this is kind of guy game a little bit here too, but as a woman, don't fall for that. That is the friend zone for women, after all. It's being sex zoned. And if you want more as a woman from being sex zoned, don't settle for less. If you want a commitment, don't settle for less. That's how I see women mostly disrespecting themselves. So, ladies, gentlemen, comment below what you thought about this video. Do you agree, disagree? Has this been a circumstance for you? Has it not been a circumstance for you? I know this doesn't apply to some women. Some women have this down. Some women are already good with this. They don't fall into this trap. But I also know there's plenty of women who do fall into this trap, and they wind up with the same kinds of guys, believe in BS, falling for their tricks and lies, and settling for less than what they really want. And when push comes to shove, if a woman practices radical self-respect, they're not going to allow that to happen to themselves. They're going to put an end to it, put the foot down, and then move forward. And remember, anyone can be used and taken advantage of once. But every time after that, it becomes a choice. Don't make the wrong choice. It can happen once, but after that, we can certainly put our foot down and have a boundary and not allow it to happen again. So that's all I got for today. Thank you very much for watching.